It started like any ordinary morning. A man wakes up. His wife is gone. No note. No phone. No warning. At first, he thought she'd left him. But what unfolded over the next 7 days would reveal a mystery far more twisted than abandonment. Because the truth wasn't that she disappeared. It was that she walked into the arms of a man the world believed was already dead. He thought his wife disappeared, but he wasn't ready for the truth. In a quiet Virginia town wrapped in autumn fog, a man woke up one morning to find the other side of his bed empty. His wife, gone. No struggle, no noise. Just her keys on the counter and a dead silence that would grow into a national mystery. But what no one knew, was that she hadn't disappeared. She had walked straight into a trap that had been stalking her for years, one her husband helped build with his own hands. Jacob Monroe, 37, wakes up to sunlight leaking through the curtains of their 2-story colonial. His wife, Elena, should be beside him. She isn't. He calls out, once, then twice. No answer. He walks downstairs. The coffee pot is untouched. Her phone is on the charger. Her inhaler, still in her purse. But her keys, just sitting by the door. Jacob, to 911. Hi, I think my wife is missing. She's not answering, she didn't go to work, her car's here. I don't know what happened. Please, can someone come? Detectives Michelle Granger and Elijah Brooks arrive at the Monroe house. Elena has been gone about 8 hours. There are no signs of forced entry. No blood. No struggle. No sign of packing or planning. Surveillance footage from the street-facing Ring camera shows nothing between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. But a neighbor, Mr. Pollard, reports something strange. Around 2:30 a.m., I swear I heard a car. Not like usual, it was quick, revved hard. Like someone in a rush. And I thought I heard screaming. But I figured it was a dream. Police checked the back alley's camera, a camera no one remembered was there. And there she is. 2:42 a.m., Elena walks barefoot down the driveway. Her arms are wrapped around herself. She looks straight ahead. Then a car pulls into frame. She hesitates for just 1 second. Then climbs in. The car disappears down the alley. Jacob watches the footage in silence. That's not her. That doesn't even look like her walk. By the end of day 1, Elena's image is on flyers. Local news reports her as a missing person. Jacob does 2 interviews, emotional, reserved, cooperative. But detectives start noticing cracks. Jacob didn't mention they had argued that night. He fails a stress indicator question in his first police interview. Did you know Elena was planning to leave? A neighbor says Elena looked haunted in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Detective Granger pulls Jacob's phone records. He made 6 calls the day before Elena vanished, all to an unknown number in West Virginia. A number tied to a dead man named Aaron Monroe, Jacob's older brother. 5 years ago, Aaron Monroe died in a fiery car crash. Police ruled it an accident. Jacob handled the funeral arrangements. Closed casket. Cremation. No autopsy. Elena had only met Aaron once. She described him later as charming in the way vipers are charming. Now, that same name is attached to the license plate of the car that picked up Elena. Impossible. But here's where the story fractures. In the days after Aaron's supposed death, the Monroe family grew quiet. Elena told a friend Aaron made her feel watched. That he'd show up unexpectedly, once even inside their garage. He stares too long. Like he knows something about me that even I've forgotten. Day 4. Police obtain a second footage angle, an ATM security camera facing the intersection 2 blocks from the Monroe's house. Time, 2:48 a.m. The mystery car stops at a red light. For 2 seconds, Elena's face turns toward the camera. She's bruised. That's not fear. That's resignation. Behind her, the driver is barely visible. But there's one detail, a tattoo on the neck. A black cross, tilted at an angle. Just like Aaron had. Detectives can't ignore it any longer. Granger to Jacob. If your brother is alive, we're going to find out. If you helped him vanish, we're going to prove it. But right now, you're the only connection to both Elena and Aaron. And neither of them wants to be found. 3 days later, officers search Elena's art studio, a converted shed on their property. Behind a false panel in the wall, they find a leather journal. Inside, fragmented thoughts, erratic handwriting, and drawings. I see him at the edge of the woods. Every night. Watching. Aaron isn't dead. Jacob doesn't believe me. Or maybe he does. Maybe that's the problem. I keep waking up in a different place than I fell asleep. One final entry, written in a different pen. He says he'll kill Jacob if I don't come with him. A week after Elena vanished, Jacob receives a blocked call. She's safe. Don't look for her. Jacob screams into the receiver, demanding answers. You should have stopped digging. She chose me. Police trace the call, pinged from a burner phone bouncing off towers near Pine Hollow, a ghost town in rural West Virginia. A place connected to only one person in Jacob's life, Aaron. The FBI steps in. They open a cold case file on Aaron Monroe. Turns out, Aaron had ties to multiple fake identities. After his death, a series of property rentals, credit card applications, and fake licenses started cropping up across the Southeast, under the alias Eric Mathis. Detectives realize they've been looking at this wrong. Elena didn't disappear. She was taken. Or worse, she went willingly. The final moment in part 1 comes when police dig deeper into Aaron's crash. They retest the charred bones recovered from the crash site. Forensic analysis returns. No match to Aaron Monroe. In fact, they don't match anyone in the Monroe family. The crash was a setup. The body belonged to a missing transient man from Kentucky. Aaron is very much alive. And if that's true, then Elena's not just missing. She's on the run. And the man she ran to may be the reason she never escapes again. The Monroe house is no longer a home, it's a crime scene without tape. Cameras and investigators have come and gone, but Jacob remains inside like a man trapped in amber. He hasn't been back to work. He hasn't changed clothes in 2 days. He just sits in the kitchen, watching the footage. Over and over. 2:42 a.m. Elena. Barefoot. Blank stare. Getting into a car. A car driven by someone with a tattoo. That black cross on the neck. He's seen it before. Thanksgiving. A backyard fire pit. Jacob and his older brother, Aaron, are drunk. Laughing. Aaron leans in close. You ever think about Elena the wrong way? What the hell kind of question is that? I'm just saying you married her. But I met her first. Aaron had always said things like that. Creepy. Off-kilter. Sometimes it was just crude jokes. Other times, it felt like he was testing Jacob. She used to text me late at night before you two were a thing. You know that, right? Jacob didn't want to believe it then. Now, he can't not believe it. Detective Michelle Granger visits the morgue records. There's no DNA confirmation on Aaron's remains. Only visual assumption based on the wrecked vehicle and clothing. No dental match. No autopsy. In fact, the remains were charred beyond recognition. The only ID? A class ring, one that could have been planted. We may have buried the wrong man. Or no man at all. She finds a strange piece of evidence from the crash file, a gas station receipt, timestamped 40 minutes after Aaron was supposed to have died, with a signature that reads, Mathis. The location? A town called Hawkesbury, just outside West Virginia. There's something Jacob hasn't told police. Behind the Monroe property is a small guest house, once Aaron's man cave before he'd died. Jacob sealed it off, turned it into storage. He hasn't opened it in years. But something compels him now. A scent on the wind. A flash of memory. A whisper in the night. He breaks the padlock. Pushes the rusted door open. It smells like Elena. Inside, dust coats every surface, except the mattress. There's fresh indentations. A crumpled blanket. A used teacup. A faint trace of women's perfume. And on the wall, written in marker. Jacob doesn't know. But I see you watching me. Always. He stumbles back, choking. Erin was here. Maybe still is. Back when they first met, Jacob brought Elena home for dinner. That night, Erin kept touching her shoulder, her wrist, a hand on her back just a little too long. Elena never said anything. But later, she told Jacob. Your brother makes my skin crawl. Jacob thought she was being sensitive. Now he knows she was being hunted. FBI analysis of the grainy 2:48 a.m. footage provides new data. The driver's tattoo is not just a black cross. It has initials beneath it, ESM. Eric Samuel Mathis. An alias used in 6 different states. And it's a name tied to missing persons cases going back 8 years, most of them involving women who tried to disappear. Only 2 ever resurfaced. One of them filed a police report in 2017, claiming she escaped a man named Eric Mathis after being held against her will in a storage unit in Georgia. The details? Identical to what Elena wrote in her hidden journal. In a coordinated operation, the FBI raids a unit registered under E.S. Mathis in Hawkesbury, West Virginia. Inside, they find a baby crib, dozens of women's shoes, torn photos of Elena, a lockbox containing 3 IDs, one of them for Elena Serrano, and a flip phone, powered off for months. They charge it. When it turns on, the first message lights up. She's with me. This time, she doesn't go back. The biggest shock isn't Elena's location. It's that someone saw her. A gas station clerk in Hawkesbury remembers her, with a baby girl, maybe 2 years old. Elena looked skittish. In a hurry. She paid in cash. Avoided eye contact. But left behind a drawing, a child's scribble of a man with XS over his eyes. That baby is not Jacob's. At least, that's what he believes. But the dates? 2.5 years ago. Jacob and Elena had a miscarriage. Or so Elena claimed. What if she lied? What if the baby isn't Erin's, but his? Detectives search Elena's studio again. Behind the canvas of her final painting, a landscape of a forest burning, they find a folded note sealed with wax. To whoever finds this. If you're reading this, then either I've failed, or I've finally succeeded. My name is not Elena Monroe. It never was. There's a man out there who wants to erase who I really am. He's done it to others. If I'm gone, don't believe the lies. Don't let Jacob take the fall. He doesn't know everything, but he tried to protect me once. Now it's my turn to protect someone else. And this time, I won't make the mistake of going back. Jacob is taken in for more questioning. He's spiraling. Angry. Exhausted. Grieving someone who isn't dead, and haunted by a brother he once helped vanish. Detective Granger lays it all out. We believe your brother is alive. We believe your wife went with him. And we believe you knew more than you told us. Jacob slams his fist on the table. I buried him to protect her. I thought it was over. I didn't know he came back. I didn't know. You staged your brother's death? He wasn't supposed to survive. The FBI finally decrypts data from the burner phone found in the storage unit. One video file, timestamped 4 days ago, pops up. It's Elena. Sitting in what looks like a basement. Her face is bruised. She's rocking a baby in her arms. Elena, on video. If you're watching this, then I'm still alive. But I don't know for how long. She looks behind her. Whispers. He made me come. He says he loves me. He says the baby is ours. But I don't know what's real anymore. Then she looks into the lens. Jacob. I'm sorry. I should have told you everything. About the child. About Aaron. About who I really was. But I thought if I disappeared, you'd be safe. I was wrong. The screen glitches. End of video. Jacob thought he buried his past 5 years ago. But what he buried was the beginning. Now, with Elena still alive and Aaron more dangerous than ever, the race to find her begins, before she disappears again. Forever. 17 days since Elena's disappearance. Jefferson National Forest, Virginia, West Virginia border. Rain seeps through the canopy. Mud squelches under boots. A volunteer searcher named Samantha Ellis pauses at the edge of a clearing. She notices something. A burnt outline in the dirt. Blackened wood. And just beyond it, something pale, something round, half buried in moss and ash. A skull. Small. Female. Melted enamel still clinging to its teeth. She screams. Police arrive within the hour. Yellow tape goes up around the scene. The scent of burned plastic lingers, tents, clothes, and what was once a mattress, reduced to ash. The media speculates instantly, Elena Monroe has been found. But the truth is about to split the case wide open. Dr. Camille Hahn, the state's forensic pathologist, works overnight. The skull has no dental match with Elena. The pelvis structure suggests a woman in her mid-30s. Fractures in the right wrist, restrained before death. Cause of death, blunt force trauma, not fire. This isn't Elena Monroe. But someone wanted police to think it was. Buried nearby. A partially burned scarf, the same brand and pattern Elena wore the night she vanished. Someone planted it. As a diversion. Granger stands in the morgue and mutters. Who is she? The answer takes 4 days. Her name was Renee Halston. A waitress. No next of kin. No missing person report filed. But Granger pulls her file, and something hits hard. Back in 2020, Renee was arrested for trespassing. At the time, she was living in a car. She told officers. A man took everything from me. I ran. But he's still out there. The man she accused? Eric S. Mathis. Another victim of Aaron Monroe. Another woman who disappeared, and never came back. The forest was a dump site. But it was also something more. Elena's journal, page 38. Sometimes, I see him in my dreams. Not Aaron. The version of him that pretends to be someone else. When I wake up, I don't know what world I'm in anymore. Jacob finds the page in the evidence copy of her journal. He traces the ink with his finger. He never saw her slipping. Or maybe, she was always hiding the fall. Near the burned mattress, investigators find something overlooked, a melted SIM card inside a cracked burner phone. The FBI manages to recover one voice recording. She asked too many questions. She kept saying I wasn't him. That I was someone else. She didn't understand, I made her into something better. And then she ruined it. Aaron. His voice. Unfiltered. Emotionless. She wasn't Elena. But she could have been. Renee Halston wasn't just a victim. She was a rehearsal. Investigators combed through Eric Mathis' movement history, tracked through burner phone pings, credit card traces, and parking lot footage. Every city he lived in had one thing in common. A missing woman. With similar features. Each found, or never found, in places close to remote woods or swamps. Most with signs of restraint. None with anyone to file a report. Aaron wasn't just a fugitive. He was a serial predator. A builder of identities. A collector of silence. Back at the Monroe house, Jacob finally allows himself to break. He drinks. He punches a mirror. Blood drips from his knuckles. He looks at a photo of Elena, her smile framed by spring blossoms. You left me in this house. With his ghost. You knew. You knew he wasn't gone. In a fit of rage, he tears down every picture in the hallway. Behind one. A hole in the wall. Inside it. A USB drive, labeled only with the letter E. Detectives recover the footage from the USB. It's Elena. Sitting in her car. Parked in an empty lot. Shaking. If anything happens to me, it's because of Aaron. If he's watching this. I want you to know, I hate you for what you took from me. She pauses. But I hate myself more for going back. Jacob, the baby is yours. I lied because I was scared. I thought if you knew, you'd try to fix everything. And I didn't want to be fixed. I wanted to vanish. Before Aaron found us again. But I couldn't hide from him. Because he never really left. The FBI criminal profiler assigned to the case draws a disturbing picture. Aaron is obsessive, methodical, and pathologically charming. He mimics identities, voices, even mannerisms to confuse victims. He isolates them, builds emotional dependency, then destroys it. He thrives in control. In erasure. Elena was always the one he couldn't fully possess. The profiler calls it. He's not just trying to control Elena. He's trying to replace her. Again and again, with imitations. When she ran, she broke his cycle. Now he's trying to rebuild it, piece by piece. A tipster calls the FBI hotline. I saw her. Not Elena. The other one. I think she got away. They're directed to a homeless shelter in Charleston, West Virginia. A woman named Cara Morales, early 30s, sunken eyes, scar along her jaw. She's terrified to talk. But eventually she breaks. He made me change my name. Made me call him Aaron, then Eric, then something else. I don't know who he really is. He said I reminded him of someone. Someone he lost. But I wasn't enough. Cara shows them the scar. Says he gave it to her, to teach her a lesson. She escaped 2 months before Elena disappeared. Her statement confirms what no one wanted to believe. Aaron is building a new Elena. And if the real Elena is still alive, she may be the only one who can stop him. Cara draws a crude map from memory. A cabin. Deep in the Appalachians. Near a lake. Federal agents run satellite scans. They find signs of recent activity, smoke plumes, ATV tracks. They prepare a tactical team. When they arrive, the cabin is abandoned. Rotten food. Used diapers. A baby bottle filled with old milk. One wall is covered in Polaroids, dozens of women. In the center, marked in red ink. Elena, original. Pinned beneath it. A current photo. She's alive. Holding the child. Standing in a motel room with a dated calendar behind her. Timestamp, 3 days ago. They missed them by hours. But on the desk? A letter, unfinished. You think you understand me. But you don't. You all see a monster. But she made me this. She left me once. I won't let her do it again. Among the trash in the cabin, agents find a baby monitor. Still active. The receiver nearby is broken. But the FBI techs recover a file from its memory. They play it. It's the voice of a baby, crying. Then soothed. Elena's voice sings softly. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Then silence. Then a whisper. Mail. Time's up, Elena. No more games. A creak. A shuffle. Then, static. The forest gave up one secret, but buried another. As Aaron drags Elena deeper into his fantasy, investigators race against time to find the only woman who ever got away from him. And this time, she's not just running for herself. The manhunt stretches across 3 states. Elena and her child, still missing. Aaron Monroe, now confirmed alive, dangerous, and spiraling. But the real story doesn't begin where she disappeared. It begins years before Jacob ever met her. In a life Elena had tried to bury forever. Birth name, Marisol Elena Serrano. Dobie, November 3, 1991. Place, Austin, Texas. Father, unknown. Mother, died of overdose when Elena was 11. At 14, she was placed into the foster care system. At 16, she vanished from her group home. No police report was filed. No one looked for her. Because Elena didn't want to be found. Back in West Virginia, FBI agents search another unit connected to one of Aaron's old aliases. They find a notebook, different from the others. Not Aaron's. Elena's. This one isn't full of fear, it's full of plans. No one knows who I used to be. And that's how I stay alive. If I ever go back to the girl I was, I lose. Page after page reveals Elena's pattern. New identities. New towns. Fake resumes. Survival tactics. And the name she feared most, Donovan Kessler. Donovan Kessler. Elena's first abuser. A charismatic community pastor in Austin who ran a home for lost girls. Behind closed doors, it was a pipeline for trafficking. Exploitation. Psychological breakdown. Elena escaped at 17. But she didn't go to the police. She didn't trust them. So she ran. She became someone else. Again and again. Jacob never knew. Because Elena never told a single soul. Except one. 7 years ago, Elena met Aaron Monroe at a bus stop in Charleston. She was under the name Lena Carter. Homeless. Starving. Scared. Aaron offered her a place to stay. A warm meal. A second chance. She fell for it. For 3 months, she lived with him. But he changed. The charm faded. The control began. He took my phone. Monitored my calls. Told me I needed him. He said if I ever left, he'd expose me. Said he knew who I really was. Elena escaped in the middle of the night. 2 months later, she met Jacob. She never told him. Because Aaron said if she ever did, he'd make sure Jacob paid the price. Using notes from Elena's hidden journal, FBI agents locate a new possible site, an abandoned railway cabin near Welch, West Virginia. Inside, they find a mattress. Blood. A baby bottle. And this time, something new, a photo pinned to the wall. Jacob. In his backyard. Taken from the woods. Jacob's phone rings. Unknown number. He picks up. Do you ever think about the night we burned that car? Jacob freezes. You really thought that was going to be enough? That you could fake a death and it'd stick? That she'd be yours after what I gave her? Jacob whispers, where is she? You're the reason she's gone. You buried her truth. I'm just digging it back up. Then silence. The FBI profiler updates her assessment. Aaron's delusion has deepened. He doesn't want Elena back. He wants to destroy her. Piece by piece. Past and present. Until she becomes a new version he can own again. This is about identity. Control. Not love. He's not just chasing her. He's chasing the girl she used to be. A test run from the blood-stained baby bottle comes back. Confirmed, the baby is Jacob's biological daughter. Not Aaron's. Not Kessler's. Jacob collapses when he hears the news. She was trying to protect us both, from him. Inside another recovered flash drive from the Welch cabin, investigators find video files, filmed by Elena herself. She looks different. Harsher. Harder. Determined. I don't know if this will make it to anyone. But if it does, know this, I'm done running. Aaron's going to keep doing this. He thinks he can rewrite me. Erase me. Start over with women who remind him of me. But I remember who I was. I remember the girl who climbed out of a locked room and never looked back. She stares into the lens. You want me, Aaron? Come find me. But this time, I won't be the one afraid. Agents track a fake ID Elena used recently, Angela Ramos. It was swiped at a motel check-in 2 nights ago, near Pittsburgh. A clerk remembers her. With a child. Alone. She was shaking. But calm. She asked for the room furthest from the front desk. She left the next morning, early. But surveillance catches the license plate of the car she left in. A rental. Under the name Donovan Kessler. They follow the car. It leads to an old industrial slaughterhouse, shut down in the early 2000s. Inside, silence. Then footsteps. A scream. SWAT moves in. Gunfire. A chase. A man tackled to the floor. It's not Aaron. It's a decoy. A man hired by him, paid in cash, given Elena's old photos. Another dead end. But then, someone finds a cell phone taped to the underside of a desk. It's recording. It plays Aaron's voice. You all keep looking in the past. But Elena's already in the future. The girl you knew is dead. All that's left is who I decide she becomes. And if I can't have her, then no one will. One final piece of evidence arrives, anonymously sent to a small radio station near Pittsburgh. It's a voicemail. Elena's voice. Static. Fearful but composed. If you're hearing this, it means I've either escaped. Or I've failed. Jacob, our daughter is safe. That's all that matters. He tried to erase me. But the truth is, I buried who I was a long time ago. I just didn't know, someone would come along and dig it up. But I'm not that girl anymore. I am Elena Monroe. I am Marisol Serrano. I am every version of myself that survived. And if I go down, I take him with me. FBI pings show a burner phone near Ravenshade, Ohio. A truck stop clerk reports seeing a man with a black neck tattoo, cross and initials, leading a woman and child into an RV. It left that morning. Headed north. No plates. No paper trail. But the hunt continues. She ran from her past. Then she ran from a man who wouldn't let her forget it. Now, Elena isn't just running, she's fighting. And the only way this ends is if one of them disappears forever. On day 31 at Ravenshade, Ohio. A dusty RV rumbles down a forgotten stretch of highway, tucked between cornfields and pine. Inside, a man who thinks he's won. Aaron Monroe is driving. His beard is longer. His eyes wilder. In the passenger seat, Elena sits quietly, clutching her daughter. To the outside world, they look like a family. Inside, they are anything but. Aaron made one mistake, he used an old alias to rent the RV. The same one he used during his con in Ohio years ago. A flag was triggered. Now, agents have eyes in the sky. Drones. Roadblocks. Heat sensors. But Elena doesn't know help is on the way. She only knows one thing. If I don't end this now, he never will. Elena pretends to sleep. The child dozes beside her. Aaron talks. Rants. Says the past didn't matter. That she was always meant to be his. That even death couldn't erase what they had. You rebuilt your life, Elena. But I made you. I can unmake you. She waits until he stops for gas. She slips a burner phone from her boot. One she hid under the RV floor. She types a message, RV, Route 9. Mile 214. Heavily armed. I have the child. She sends it. Then she hides the phone under the baby's blanket. State troopers intercept. The RV is boxed in. Agents rush. But Aaron doesn't come out. A standoff begins. 3 hours. Negotiators. Flashbangs. Then, a scream. A woman. A baby. Running out the back. Shots fired inside. When they breach, Aaron is slumped against the wall. He's alive. Bleeding. But alive. Elena's last words to him. You don't get to erase me. I choose who I am now. Aaron Monroe is charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, impersonation of a federal officer, attempted murder, and interstate trafficking. But the trial becomes something more. The media discovers Elena's past. Her multiple names. Her escape from Donovan Kessler. The years she spent hiding. The prosecution wants to focus on Aaron. But the public fixates on Elena. Was she a victim? Or something else? Was she hiding? Or deceiving? A jury convicts Aaron on all counts. He is sentenced to life without parole. But the damage is done. 6 months later, a memoir hits shelves. Written under the name Marisol Elena Serrano, the book reveals everything. The abuse. The escape. The fear. The lies she told Jacob. The love she never believed she deserved. And the night she almost killed herself, just to stop running. But then I heard my daughter laugh. And I remembered, she is not part of my past. She is my reason to survive the future. Interviewer, do you forgive her? Jacob, I never blamed her. Not for 1 second. I just wish I knew, so I could have protected her sooner. Interviewer, would you take her back? Jacob, long pause, I already did. She's not my wife. She's my miracle. She ran from her past. She was hunted by a man who refused to let go. But in the end, Elena didn't disappear. She emerged. Stronger. Louder. Unbreakable. And when the truth surfaced, it wasn't about who she used to be. It was about who she dared to become. If you found this story gripping, unforgettable, and necessary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is Redline Report, where true crime meets the raw edge of reality. Your voice matters. Share this video. Someone, somewhere, might be hiding their own truth, just like Elena did.